Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are talking about KVK 1 preparations. So if you're like my restart account here, you have the symbol in the top right corner, it means there's a new season coming. KVK 1 is coming in 15 days for me. So it is time to start getting yourself prepared and ready for KVK. There's a few things you need to keep in mind when it comes to KVK to prepare yourself, especially for KVK 1 if you're not experienced. First one is unit capacity. That's going to determine the outcome of a lot of battles. Okay? The second one is you got to worry about your commander pairs. Got to make sure you have at least one march, if not two, ready to head out into the open field. This includes the gear you put on your equipment and the talents you're going to use. And the third thing you need to worry about is your resources and your speed ups. KVK is full of great rewards, but it's very costly in terms of hospital bills. You need to make sure you have enough resources to heal down your troops and speed it up if you want to continue fighting. Okay? And the last thing you need to worry about is your unit type, okay, or your unit focus. I'm going to talk about more about that at the end. All right, so first, when it comes to unit capacity, your unit capacity is how many troops a single march can send out into the open field. And if you look in here under your commander's level, you can see the unit capacity here for Bybars. It's 180,000. Okay, and there is two main factors that contribute to your unit capacity. Okay, commander level at level 60, you get 50,000 unit capacity, and then the other one is your city hall. Okay? At level 25, you can hold 150,000 units, and that will max you out at 200,000. And that should be your main focus, is making sure that the marches you're sending out to fight in KVK are maxed out at 200,000 base unit capacity. Okay? And the reason that's important is when you look at commander skills and you see this damage factor, this is just a multiplier of your march's stats. Okay? Your march's stats are made up of the stats from your units. So if you go in here, you see each unit has base attack, defense, health. Okay? All of this is added up for each individual unit in your army, and that's what makes up your army or your marches attack, defense, and health. Holding more troops means you have more attack. That's more of a multiplier to your damage factor, so you're going to hit harder. Having more defense, you're going to take less damage, which means you're going to have less of a hospital bill. And same goes for your health. The more health you have, the more damage you can take, the lesser your units get injured or die, and the less your hospital bill is, the longer you can fight, and most importantly, the more kill points you can get. And that's really what we're after in KVK, is hitting those milestone rewards for kill points and helping our kingdom win KVK for those sweet, sweet rewards. Okay, so this unit capacity ties into the commanders you're going to use as well. Okay, the only thing that matters for unit capacity is the primary commander. So when you go to send out a march somewhere, there's two commanders. This one in the front is your primary commander. The one in the back is your secondary commander. And as you can see, Ethelfled right now is my primary when I send out this march. She only has a unit capacity of 154 or 158,000 because she's only level 40. If I put someone who's level 60 as primary, it's 180,000. Okay? Putting someone else behind Bybars doesn't change my 180,000. It's only the primary commander. So when you've decided on the commander pair you want to use for KVK, make sure you upgrade your primary commander to level 60. The secondary commander is only there for their skills. So you want to make sure they get to at least 4 stars so they unlock all their skills, and they don't actually need to be any higher than that if their only job is being a secondary commander, because the secondary commander's talents also don't do anything. And only the primary commander's talents is what's used on the battlefield. And the same goes for equipment. Equipment is super important. That's what you see here. Okay? They give you bonus stats, defense, health, attack, etc. So when you've decided on the primary commander for your march, you want to make sure that you fill in all of these equipment slots with various equipment that is for their unit type. So on my Buren Iron side, because I'm running an infantry march, these are all infantry types. you can refine them and tier them to a certain troop type, and that will give you a bonus on the stats. Okay, so base is 4.5% infantry. Since it's tiered to infantry, I get a bonus 1.5%. That's what you see in these green numbers here. Okay, a quick side note on this tiering, you only get this bonus if it matches one of the tags of the commander. Okay, so let's say you're using our Ethelfled here. Let's say I wanted to use her as a archer commander. Let's say she's going to be primary. She has the leadership tag. If I am going to use archers with her and I put a piece of archer equipment on that is tiered archer, it's gray. So if I click on it, I don't get those bonuses, okay, because she's a leadership commander. If when I had refined this, if I had tiered it to leadership, then I would get those bonuses with Ethelfled. But I tiered it to archer, so I got to leave it on a archer commander to get those bonuses. Now I have an extra 2.5% archer defense. So when you're refining equipment, make sure you're being careful when you tier it that it matches one of the troop types of the commander that you want to put it on. Okay? And the third thing we got to talk about is resources and speed ups. And KVK is very costly when it comes to resources for healing as well as speed ups. You want to be able to fight as long as you can. And in KVK 1, you don't have very many troops because you build up your troops over time through training, speed ups, etc. But KVK 1, unless you're a whale and have a bunch of speed ups to spend on troop training, you can't really afford to be killing very many troops. And if your hospital's full, so if I have 178,000 or 179,400 troops in the hospital, and one of my troops get severely wounded, there's no room left in the hospital and it's just going to die. So you want to keep your hospital healed down, and importantly, you also want to upgrade your hospital so you can hold more, but you want to heal down your hospital, and that costs a lot of resources and a lot of speed ups. Thankfully, I can't show it right now, but in KVK, you do get a portion of your resources spent on healing back at the end of KVK. I believe it's 10% of resources spent on healing. They do give back to you, so it's not all a waste going to healing. But most importantly, you want speed ups for healing. Okay, I only have 24 days. You probably want to have around at least 30 to 40, ideally 50 plus days of speed ups for healing, because you don't want to be dipping into your universal speed ups when it comes to healing. You want to save those universals for like maxing out your academy, for instance. Once your academy is maxed out and you have tier 5 troops way down the line, then universal speed ups are mostly used for healing troops in those big KVKs where you have lots of marches out and you're wounding troops a lot faster. But when it comes to KVK 1, you want to use those universals somewhere else. If you have to use them for healing, you have to use them to keep fighting. But ideally, you want to stockpile those. So leading up to KVK, you don't want to be using any healing speed ups. And just heal down your hospital. You're going to have to wait if you're doing duels for Mightiest Governor event or whatnot. Batch heal your troops down. Don't be wasting your healing speed ups. Okay, stockpile those, and ideally you want to be doing barbarian forts. Okay, that is a huge source of income when it comes to healing. Okay, I got 20 minutes of speed ups there. These are universal, but 20 minutes of speed ups for a fort, as well as those universal resource packs. Okay, they don't seem like much, but when you stockpile thousands of them, it is a lot of resources, and it's going to go a long way in KVK. Okay, the fourth thing that we wanted to talk about is unit type. Okay, this is often overlooked, but if you're a free-to-play or low spender, you're only going to be able to send one, maybe two marches out onto the open field. All right, and that's totally fine, and that's totally acceptable. You don't need to be sending 3, 4, 5 marches out, because at the end of the day, one march that has good equipment, maxed out skills and commanders is going to be a lot better for you than sending out 3, 4, 5 marches with commanders that aren't max level, don't have max skills, don't have equipment on them. They're just going to die really fast, and you're going to have a huge hospital bill, and you're not going to be picking up kill points. Okay? But you want to max out those marches with a troop type. So if you've gone cavalry, infantry, archer, whatever troop type you've gone with, or whatever 2 troop types you've gone with, you want to be focusing on those troops in training. Okay, I'm going cavalry and infantry. If you didn't tell, I've maxed out a cavalry and an infantry primary. I'm going to be putting Sun Tzu behind Fear and Ironside, and I'm going to be putting Tao Tao behind Baibars. All right, so if you look at my troop count, my troop details, I have a lot more infantry and cavalry units than I do archers. And it's because when events come around to use speed ups, I'm not speeding up any of my archer units. Okay? I want to have as many infantry and cavalry units out there on the field because my archer units aren't going to be out in the field this KVK. Yeah, I'm hoping to get an archer march for next KVK, but that's way down the line and I can worry about that later. I want to try and get as many tier 4 cavalry and as many tier 4 infantry as I can because those are the ones that are going to be fighting. If I waste speed ups on archers and I don't have a good archer pair to put out in the open field, that is a waste of speed ups. Okay? We talked about unit capacity earlier. An important thing when it comes to unit capacity, which I think I forgot to mention, is these army expansions. These are huge for KVK. If you have a base of 200,000 units and you use a small army expansion for 4 hours, you can hold 250,000 units. If you use an advanced army expansion, you can hold 300,000 units. And you want to use these army expansions as much as you can in the open field. I'd recommend always saving these for KVK. They are huge in saving your hospital and getting yourself those kill points. Okay? I'd recommend only using them when you have a couple hours to go out and fight. If you're just popping in for a couple minutes, joining a fight, and then logging off because you got stuff to do, it might be a little bit of a waste to use these. But if you know you're going to be sitting down and playing for a couple hours, pop an army expansion. Okay? But in order to use an advanced army expansion, I need to have 300,000 troops to use. Ideally, 300,000 troops of the troop type that I'm sending out. Because when you're sending out, like, let's say Baibars is going to give 20% attack only to cavalry units. If there's 100,000 archers in that unit, they're not getting that 20% bonus to attack. Only the cavalry are. So I'm missing out on a huge bonus to my attack. Okay? Same with, you look at Tao Tao. He gives 30% attack. Okay? So that's 50% attack that I'm losing out on for all those archer units I'm sending out onto the field. All right? And the little bonus one comes down to your academy. Okay? These ones are great. They take a lot, like level 9, 56 days. Okay? But you want to get your march speed as fast as possible. I'm going to talk more about that in a video coming up on how to fight in KVK. But usually what you want to do as a brief summary is you want to fight someone until your troops get a little bit low. The last 50%-ish health of your units is where you take the most severely wounded units, which are the ones that go to the hospital. Okay? And that's where your opponent picks up the most kill points. So ideally, you want to fight, and then when you get around a little bit below 50%, you're going to retreat home, refresh, and you're going to have a small hospital bill, pick up some kill points. If your troops are really slow, your opponent's going to chase you down. Okay? You're going to try running away. They're faster than you. They're going to hunt you down, and they're going to finish you off and pick up those juicy kill points in the last 50%. And you're not going to have very much attack, health, and defense to be able to do much damage back to them. So march speed is king. It allows you to get away faster, and it allows you to save your hospital bill. So focusing on these at least to level 5 to get this to level 4. Getting these all to level 10 before KVK 1 for a lower free spender is very unlikely. Okay, this costs 56 days to go to level 9. Takes 100 and some days or like 90 days to go to level 10, and you got to do that for all of these. Not super useful. But after you've gotten this to level 4, if you know you're just going to be running infantry or cavalry, you can go get these troop-specific ones. Defense is better than attack. Health is better than defense. But you can focus on some of these first. Okay? As well as medical corps to get health. Okay? The way I like to look at it, I don't have these unlocked yet because I need to upgrade my academy. It needs to go up 2 levels. I've been lazy and haven't had the speed ups to do so. But This first level is only going to take like a day for 1% health. This is going to take 56 days for 3% health, and these are universal for all troop types. So if I can upgrade Medical Corps over here 3 times in less time than it takes this to go to level 9, so in under 56 days, then it's better to upgrade Medical Corps than Herbal Medicine leading into KVK, if that makes sense. Alright, thanks for tuning in, guys. The next video coming is going to be a ranking of the KVK 1 commanders. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. It should be coming soon.